So I'll be speaking on the representation of Rahu in the art of South and Southeast Asia. So as sculptures are the medium of they are the significant medium to understand the artistic expression in the temple architecture of India and Southeast Asia, and among the diverse truth and understanding worldwide, the extended repertoire of images they developed reveals the commonality of the divinization and personification of celestial bodies, and also the abstract concepts which are set in the minds of the common people. So here the images of the planets developed from dotted charts of divine beings, each and has an individual personalities and physical attributions, and they find their places within the Hindu and the Buddhist pantheons. Yet in the tradition, they are not so much distinguished, but in contrast to other deities of the higher cycles like Vishnu and Shiva, and many others in turn to present their abstract form are found in both Brahmanical and Buddhist concept. So one such lord is Rahu, who comes from the Sanskrit root Raha, the aim of my this study was to understand that sculptural art relating to the imaginary meaning and significance. They are based on the iconographic and architectural context which are placed in the temples. And I would, in this paper also, I'm trying to talk about the development of this sculpture, which over the period of years, centuries, it has been developing, and till today we are worshipping them, and they are found in the temples. And this will help us to comprehend the significance of the iconography and their association with the Navagraha panel, which is suggested to relate to the idea of the temple as a cosmic space. And the name Rahu, the name Rahu comes from the Sanskrit root Ra, which means to take hold of or to grasp. And it is very similar to the meaning of the root Graha, to seize, to grasp, or derived from Graham. In early Sanskrit literature, the word Graha was applied for hostile spirits who would possess the minds of the people, like especially the children. And later on, it became one of the 9 celestial bodies in Hindu text, and also the king of meteors as a part of Jyotish Shastra. So they were first mentioned in Mahabharata as a planetary deities, and its representation it represents the accession in the moon in its processional orbit around the earth, which is referred as the north lunar node, along with Ketu, and which is a shadow planet and causes eclipse. So like they did not have any physical existence, but their status of this planet was very much in vogue in from the ancient times, and because of its strong influence in astrology. So Rahu and Ketu are the 2 lunar modes which are related to Indian mythology from Samudra Manthan, which played an important role in the Indian astrology. And also, like, you know, as an individual's life, depending on the person's birth star and its position, which is there in their individual birth chart also. So they are generally believed to be a malefic effect on a person's life, but it also gives beneficial effect on the individual persons based on their positions in their house of chart. So these are 2 beings and which are associated with number of astronomical and meteorological phenomena. So according to, we have many sources, like literary sources especially. I will talk about the Samudra Manthan. Like according to mythology, he can be traced back to the time when the Devas and Asuras were churning the ocean for Amrit. And when the nectar was finally, it was out, there was a dispute between the Deva and Asuras, like who will be drinking the nectar first. So Lord Vishnu, he disguised himself as Mohini and distracted the Asuras, and he distributed the nectars among the Devas. But one of the Asuras, that is Svarvanu, he noticed this and then disguised himself and stood in the line to gain the nectar. And this was observed by Sun and the Moon, and immediately they informed it to Lord Vishnu. And before Lord Vishnu could stop Svarvanu, he had already tasted a drop and thus made him immortal. So Lord Vishnu used his Sudarshana Chakra and split his body. So Rahu became the head part of which can never be satisfied because his other half is not there. So he prays to Shiva also at that same time, and he is saved, and he is allowed to be placed in the Navagraha along with other celestial bodies. So to keep a balance in the universe and to keep the bringing changes. So Rahu, as in nature, is, as I told you earlier, is malevolent, planetary influence, and can cause frustration, position of ghost, and all these things are believed like that. So he is known as a north node of moon and also as the dragon's head. He is, the other name of his is Bhayanak. He is considered to be the ministers of the Asuras and also the son of Viprachitti and Simhika. And the great, he was the sister of Bhakti Prahlad and the great Bhakta of Lord Vishnu. So he is said to be born in Chaturdasi of the Shri Krishna Paksh in the month of Bhadrapada. So wherever he is in the birth chart, one feels a submissive, obsessive drive, and he is never satisfied. So that is what it is. So he is mentioned in many of the literary sources. So first he is mentioned in Rig Veda, and that was his name was Svarvanu, and it is mentioned that he is overshadowing the sun to cause the solar eclipse. And he is also mentioned in Atharva Veda that he was seizing the moon. The earliest mythology account of the demon appears in Mahabharata, where he appears as the conception of darkening the sun, so eclipse, and he is like as Asura in the birth. He was the son, as I told you, was the son of Vichitra, Chitra, and Simhika, and he is also mentioned in Sambhava Parva as a member of Brahma's court. He is mentioned in Mahabharata in the Bhishma Parva as Sanjay speaking about Rahu to Dhritarashtra. He is further mentioned in the Puranic literature of Bhagavata Purana, Brahmanda Purana, Skanda Purana, Shiva Purana, Vishnu Purana, and almost all the Purans, Padma Puran. And in Agni Puran, he exists with 10,000 yojanas below the sun. And according to Brahmanda Puran, his chariot is driven by 8 horses, which are black in color. And his chariot is full of darkness, and having come out of the sun, so Rahu goes to the moon during the Parvan day. So that is what it is said in Mahabharata. Purans. And in Skanda Puran and Padma Puran, Rahu was forced to eat his own limbs and body, and he was by Shiva after he attempted to force to relinquish Parvati from marrying the relinquish Parvati to marry the demon king Jalandhar. So that was the story. And in Brihat Simhata, it records the astronomical and meteorological science and about the influences which has on the birth charts. And he has a smoky appearance with a blue physique. He's said to have residing in forest. He is windy in temperament. That is what in Brihat Samhita it is written. And in he is driving a chariot of 8 horses. He has 2 hands. And in Shilpa Shastra, he is also referred as one of the Navagraha and defined according to the text dealing with the Shilpa, the art and craft. So iconographically, Rahu appears as a part of Navagraha from 5th century CE. So in Buddhist scriptures, if you see, he is mentioned in the Pali canons, like in Pali pantheons, like Samayukta Niyaka of the Pali canon, where Chandrima and Surya Sutta, where Rahu has had attacked Surya and Chandra, and these are mentioned, some similar stories which are there, and then they both approach Buddha, Buddha responds by enjoining Rahu to release them, and which Rahu does rather have their head, then have his head split into 7 pieces. So that is there in the Pali canon. In Theravada Buddhism, we see he is mentioned as Asura Ninda, or chief of Asura, or he is also known as Pubbha Devata. He has full, completely gigantic body, and was not cut into half by Vishnu. And but in Theravada Buddhism, he is not regarded as evil. He is more of a mischievous, ignorant, intolerant kind of character. And yet in Asura Ninda, he also acknowledges Lord Buddha to be superior and take refuge in his triple Triratna, that is triple gem. And he is always there in the at the beginning, at the entrance of the Buddhist temples. So then in Nikaya and Mahaya Sutra, Rahu is consistently mentioned as one of the most powerful lords of the Asuras. And as is mentioned in Chandrima Sutya and Surya Sutya. And Rahu is also mentioned in Tahana, in Maha Pragya Paramita Sutra, and where he is, once Buddha was dwelling at Shravasti, and Rahu, king of Asuras, was blocking Chandrima, the Devaputra, and there was full of terror, and he had to take refuge at the feet of Buddha. That was the story. And Rahu is the name of Danava, Danavendra, and is attending the teachings of Buddha, which is written in Manjushri Kalpa in 6th century, and which is the largest Kriya Tantra. And he is also was taught by Buddha Sakyamuni in presence of a large audience. So Rahu refers to planet Rahu, and with his, in Heruka Mandala also he has been mentioned as he has 17 faces and 76 arms. So that is the Heruka Tantra. And he's also mentioned in Mahagrahas like Manjushri Mula Kalpa. He is mentioned as one of the planets commonly depicted in Buddhist iconography. And also in Nipana Yoga Vali, where he is also mentioned in the sculptures as a reddish blue color. He holds 2 hands, the sun and the moon. That is what it is. So according to Shilpa Shastra, he should be known and seated on a Simhasana, depicted with 4 arms. And he is shown sometimes seated in a Sukhasan posture without his lower limbs, of course. His right hand holds Kataka Hasta, has a Kataka Hasta, and another hand sometimes is placed on his head, sometimes it is also in Varada Mudra. And Vishnu Dharmottara Purana, he should be shown as seated on a silver chariot drawn by 8 black horses. And in his right hand, there is a book and blanket. So different mythological stories depict different things. So here I'm going to show you the development which took place in the ancient times. Initially, he first emerges in the sculptures of the Gupta period. And initially, only 7 deities were shown on the planetary planet. He first appears in the relief figure of churning of ocean. This is the one. This is the temple number 19 at Udaygiri cave in Vidisha district of Madhya Pradesh. It is dated to 430 to 450 AD. And Rahu was also found from Nachna Kuthara temple. This is the Sarnath gallery lintel of Rahu, but he's also found, okay, this is another one, but he is next found in the Nachna temple, which is a temple of the feudatories of the Guptas, Utakalas, and they built it, and their temples also. Next, he appears in the Nachna temple of Parvati, which is dated to 490 to 510 CE. He is shown as a large demonic head. He is turned towards right and appeared that his hands are kind of cupped. So he is shown with a bust with the image of with a mustache and curly hair. His palms are again cupped for maybe to receive Amrit. And the second lintel is also found in the same time, that is little late, that is 500 to 510 CE. He then again emerges in 5th century CE, that is with the 8th, he's the 8th deity, and in Uttar Pradesh, Sarnath, and that is dated to 550 to 575 AD in sandstone from Uttar Pradesh. He can be seen with his hands, like many people say that this is a Tarpan mudra or Arghya mudra. But Tarpan mudra, he is maybe showing Tarpan to Lord Shiva, or he is just cupping his hands, both the palms, to receive the nectar. This could be also possibility. So next he is shown in the panel in Uttar Pradesh. Now it is in the Museum of Arts, and there are 8. You can see that till now, till 6th century, 550. This is dated to 550 to 575 again. This is a sandstone, and we can see the 8 deities without any, like, except for Surya, who is having 2 lotuses in his hand. Others are all holding kamandalus, but here we can see the decorative piece, like a sculpture of Rahu, who has curly hair, and his hands are cupped together, maybe to accept the nectar. So here another single sculpture was found of a terracotta sculpture, which is now in Los Angeles County Museum of Arts. It was found in Uttar Pradesh of the same time, which is in terracotta. Here he is shown very demonically with his jewelry and all, with his beard and hair which is falling on his head. His eyes are kind of looking very dangerous, and he has got 2 canines which are coming out like a rakshasa, and he is opening his mouth to eat the sun, the moon. This is another one which is 6th century. Now from onwards we see that Ketu is appearing, and here also it is the similar way of the late Gupta period. We can see that this is a red sandstone, and it is in the Mathura Museum. The panel is broken, and Rahu is with a big stout demonic face. He is tilting his head at one side, and he is seated here. This is 650, 700 AD, the development. You can see the development taking place. It is in Mandsaur district of MP, where you can see the Samudra Manthan, and Ketu just is, having a Namaskar Mudra, but here he is again, his hands, palms are attached together, maybe receiving, or maybe doing some kind of, maybe it is in Tarpan Mudra. Then in 7th century, late 7th century, we see it in Lakshmaneshwar temple and Bhubaneswar. Here you can see the curly hair looking down, his hand again in the same mudra. We have Navagraha on lintel on Central Indian temples, 7th to 8th century CE. Here also you can see that the curly head, he's wearing some kind of headgear or the snake hood, and his hands are on one side as if he's asking, he's putting his palm for asking for receiving the nectar. Here it is very clear, clarity you can see, which is in Mathura Museum, a village in Satoha. It was found. It is dated to 9th century. Maybe he is doing here, like his hands are tilted down, so it could be that he is doing tarpan. Maybe he is giving his tarpan to the Lord Shiva. And this is a beautiful sculpture with beautifully decorated jewelries he's wearing, necklaces, armlets, bangles, earrings, and also some kind of beard and mustache also. Next, when we come to Navagraha panel, that is in Panna, 10th century Madhya Pradesh, Rahu and Ketu are given prominent equal place, we can say, equal space and prominence, and Rahu does not dominate over the seven grahas, like he's looked completely Indianized. Everybody is wearing the Indian attire, and so that is what it is. So this is 10th and 11th century. Again, now a different feature is coming. This is the early Pala period, where we can see decoration panels are coming in, and here he is with the Tarpan mudra, or the hand which are come together, has now he is holding moon here, the crescent, and he's here also. He's been seen wearing jewelry, and there is this snakehood on his head. This is another one from 10th century from Baswara, Rajasthan. Again, this is the Samudra Manthan, and he's shown with all kind of jewelries and all. Then this is the Pala panel, which belongs to, and you can see the beautiful decoration which comes up in during the Pala time. And right now it is in San Diego Museum of Art. This is 11th to 12th century AD. We can see the beautiful decorative panels below and also above. And here his headgear is completely different. You can see the snakes are represented differently. His hands are holding the crescent of the moon. He's wearing a necklace which is completely different. Here Shani, all the you can see all the celestial beings are in a Tribhanga pose, like they are holding their weapons also now, and they are in a Tribhanga pose. This is another one, which is, as you know, Bengal, Bihar, and Bangladesh today has lots. And today also, when people are going for exploration, they are getting these kind of panels which are lying on the banks of River Ganga, and which are the ruins, which are from the ruins of the temples, which are no more now. And but all these sculptures are lying there. And so Archaeological Museum of Kuch Bihar Palace in Patna, they are having these collections of Navagraha lintels with Rahu here, with the same mudra, but with a crescent here. So this is again another one from Lakhisarai and Monge. The panels were found, and they are placed in the museum. This is 11th and 12th century. See the beautiful decorations of the panel here with very beautifully, you can see prominent position. Rahu is holding here with a big face, demonic big face, very calm kind now. And with the snakes, the snake hood is represented very differently with a very elaborate style. And he is having his, again, the same, somebody calls Tarpana Mudra, somebody calls that he's cupping his hand to accept the nectar. Next, we see the more elaboration and different niches of panels were made for each and every grahas. So this one is from Konarak Puri, where we can see his face is a very demonic stylized, with he's holding moon in two different hands, and he's having this two canine teeth is coming from two different sides with a big mustache. Is like typical how we say about the Rakshasas, like you know, big protruding eyes. A beautiful sculpture with the beautifully decorated jewelries he's being seen, and in a panel which is carved out differently. Different stones are carved out for each and every being, each and every celestial being. So in Buddhist scripture, he is half black, half body, and is depicted as following the sun or the moon. And with the same mythology, Rahu is pacified by Lord Buddha, and he first appears in Cham dynasty in Vietnam in 7th century AD, because as you know, the traders and all merchants and other people were migrating to these places. They were settling down, and we have the influence of the stories of the mythology, which also had spread to these places. So the same lintels we can see there in the Southeast Asian regions, and he is worshipped till today. Today also they have the Rahu sculptures at the entrance of their Buddha temple. So here is the Rahu of 10th, 11th century, which is in Cambodia. Here we can see the Samudra Manthan, and he is holding something in his hand. I'm not very sure. And his hands are raised up, maybe the Kataka, and the other hand is not seen. And he is having curly hair and big mustache. So this is Navagraha from another, from Cambodia again, the museum, Khmer dynasty. This is of a 7th century CE Khmer dynasty. We can see the panel of all the celestial beings. Again, he's shown as very similar to the previous one within the Samudra Manthan, and his hand is holding Kataka. And here, for the first time, we see that he is shown with the in the Pala period. Of course, he's shown with the I forgot to tell you about it. That is in Pala period. In one of the panels, he's shown these all these 9 celestial are shown with their vahanas. So here also you can see in Vietnam Museum today, which is dated to 10th century, we see the vahanas which are down below. And this is in Tibet, where Tantraism had come in, and the sculptures were inlaid in copper. So this is of a very late period, that is in 15th century sculpture. This is the one which I was talking about, a temple with the lintel, which is dated to very late period, maybe 14th century, 12 to 14th century. They are all riding their vahanas. You can see that. Now this is a modern modern statue of Rahu, who is shown in half. Here is the Samudra Manthan, and these statues, means these sculptures or icons are found in almost all the temples of Thailand. This is from Thak Sok temple in Thailand, and where Rahu is in a black black skin with a golden sun or moon in which he is trying to eat. So in the modern days, we have them all over India, like all over India, from Assam to Assam to Gujarat, and from down south in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, to up in Himachal and Haryana. All these places we have the importance of the Navagraha, which were there in the ancient temples. In Tamil Nadu, they had started from the Chola period, and it is very popular. Worship there. We have many temples today also. They are being dedicated to the Navagrahas, which is found from Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, and many other places. So what is the significance? Artistically, the sculptures are represented beautifully with regional influences were there. Then they are the Ketu and Rahu are called the Chaya Graha, and they are the descending nodes of the moon. They are believed to be both benevolent and malevolent in nature, and they are, which depends on the position of the person's astrological birth chart. He is considered important part of astrology by the people, which can create some kind of problems in their life. And these Navagrahas are also worshipped in the other side, like by the people for good luck and to overcome all kind of adversities. And in Buddhist pantheon, he is believed to be the protector and worshipper, worshipped in all the societies, and they are always put at the entrance of the temple in the modern times. One factor of the existing of Rahu in Buddhism was the multicultural community that integrated beliefs in Buddhism and animism, which finally led to Rahu worship ceremony for peace and calm. Then the development of these can be seen from the Vishnu Varaha temple at Iran, which I have told you, and then it was developing slowly. It started with seven sculptures, then came 8, and then in the later it was 9. Then his 8 planetary deities were depicted, and Rahu, Ketu came in the later period. During this time, Rahu was added in the depiction of the planetary deity. The ancient Indian texts describe the forms of grahas and the importance of worship as individual deity as well as in a group. And during the earlier medieval period, the use of panels with Navagraha as temple architecture members developed generally. They became quite extant in all over India. And the Navagraha worship in India rose to popularity. Even today, they are worshipped all over across the country and also in the neighboring countries. So, existence of regional variation does appear in the iconographic style and this cult which developed over which had regional influence on them. Thank you.